Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome to Today's America, Millennium News 24/7. This is Tofeder Noor from our American studio. Viewers, we have a guest today, Mr. Saul. He is rapper, comedian, also funeral home worker, and he is doing good job for our mental health issue also. And
Thank you.
And our co-host, Mr. Todd Goldfinger, and he is also doing mental health issue in his neighborhood. Viewers, we're going to talk about today little bit current affairs. What is happening our world, Eastern Europe and Brussels, London and White House. Also, we're going to go business, environment, climate, and also mental health. And our end of the show, our comedian, he gonna talk about how to work with music and comedy and also mental health issue.
Thank you.
I'm gonna talk about right now current affairs. Guys, yesterday, President Putin ordered his forced to take over Donbass and Eastern European area, and he gonna make two independent country. Russian troops already inside the Eastern European side. Our Western European community, also NATO, and our White House, they are doing some embargo. This embargo gonna be work with Russian armed force and finance. Mr. Choil, you have any answer?
I think I'd rather let Todd go first on this one.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm Todd David Goldfinger. Not to be confused with any other Todd Goldfingers. Nice to meet you. Nice to be here. I'm a mental health advocate. I love helping people. You know, I'm a survivor. I got through it. I got through a suicide attempt, in August of 2019. Then, went to Hanoi for 3 months and started a mental health project called Beautiful Minds. Right before the pandemic, Jewish people know these things. You know when something's coming. So I went back to New York right before the pandemic, just instinctually. This happened also the morning of 9/11, but we're not going to get into that right now. Also, I'm going to tell you, mental health is very important, not just in the state of New York, but globally and worldwide, because it's something that affects every individual, whether it's themselves or a loved one. Everybody is affected by mental health. And so, how can we today? Now, I know you work with the deceased.
Yeah,
Is that right? You work with the deceased. Is that correct?
that is correct. I do work with deceased as a funeral home worker, and but I don't only work with the deceased as a funeral home worker. As Noah mentioned, I'm also a music artist, a comedian, a rapper, and a comedian. But I do also other stuff. I volunteer as well in a number of youth. I don't know why I have to tell this to before the show. I completely, but forgive me for that.
It's
I was
echoing a little bit. There's a little bit of an echo. There's a little bit of an echo.
Slow.
Go a little
I'm
bit
sorry.
slower and be cognizant of the echo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not sure where the echo is coming from, but I apologize for that. So I do. In addition to the jobs that I do volunteer as in a youth at risk center, and a lot of there's a lot of mental health issues there, a lot of mental health issues in the world. Now, I'm not. I don't consider myself a political expert on the particular issue of Russia and Ukraine, but I do know that if a war breaks out, it's going to have not only effect on the lives of people, but it's going to be detrimental extremely to the mental health of thousands of people, the ones who survived the war, that is, and the ones who die, their families are going to have a lot of mental effect,
Right,
And
and America shouldn't have to pay for it as well. I mean, we should be sending aid, not troops, right?
I kind of feel that, we have been in quite a few wars, that many would say, we're necessarily, for
Frivolous.
For our benefits, whether it's Iraq or the wars that we fight covertly that we don't know about. And America is kind of tired of, going to war in other countries. So I will say that. Again, I don't claim to be an expert on the Ukraine and Russia issue itself, but in general, when it comes to war and mental health, it's a big problem in our society.
Well said.
Yeah.
Very
And
good.
Mazel Tov.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So tell me about your comedy, your rap career. I want to hear about this. This is interesting.
Well, I think, yeah. First of all, I thank you for asking. I thank you guys for both having me on, Nora and Todd. I really appreciate it. It's amazing to be on with you guys. It all started around, let's say, about mid 2009 or 2010. I got very much into stand-up comedy. I started watching a lot of famous comedians, and then I started going over to comedy shows, and I started mimicking comedians. I started getting picked on at comedy clubs, and I started posting on Facebook funny things. And eventually, over time, a number of comedians said to me, "You have a little potential. Would you consider going into stand-up comedy?" And to make a long story short, I did eventually start, slowly going into it, and I haven't officially become a full-fledged comedian, but the rap thing came along as well, because I'll tell you how that happened. As comedians, we're taught to write down not only every joke that we come up with and every funny thought that we come up with, we're taught to write down and save it, but we're also taught to write down any kind of poetic or thoughts we come up with, or any rhymes we come up with, or even any kind of things that we come up with that can become music. And there were times I just wrote stuff that rhymed and were not even comedic, that were just emotional, and somehow, some way, I eventually turned them into songs. So it kind of evolved into a rap and music career. And I didn't come out with my first song until about 2015, but which was a little after I started getting into comedy, which was more like 2011. But and I've been doing it. It's still a side hustle. I still work in funeral homes, with deceased, as a full time job, more or less part time, but still a full time job. Part time and whatever. Hard to explain, but
Yeah. When you're working with the deceased, I hope you don't mind newer if I
Sure, go ahead. Sure, go ahead.
Do you feel something? Does something come off the bodies? Do you energetically speaking? Is there something goes on there? Tell me, please. Tell the audience.
It depends because I like sometimes it can depend on the type of death. Sometimes, like most deaths, thankfully, are elderly people. It was a little different during COVID. Like there were some 40s, 50-year-olds, 30-year-olds at the time. But there are times when we have younger people that we wish, would have lived a little longer, unfortunately died, because let's say a car accident or even more painful, like drug overdoses or a bit murder, but that could be a little painful, we didn't mean to dampen the mood there a little, but.
No, we need to talk about these things. We need
Sure,
to
definitely. So, and overdoses tend to be. Overdose. Obviously, murder is the worst. No one. That's the worst feeling in the world when your loved one got murdered. But other than that,
and depending on the area too, it's more.
That's it.
Areas. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And overdoses are also extremely, extremely painful. Those are the most suffer funeral you've ever been. You'll ever be at. And it's a big problem. It only keeps getting worse. With drugs and mental health. And. And alcohol abuse and all that stuff, and we see that we unfortunately, I see it on both sides of this grave. As a funeral home worker, I see it, unfortunately, the people who didn't make it. And in real life, I see it with a lot of people in the youth at risk movements that I'm involved with. I also deal with my own mental health issues. I see a therapist every week for my issues. I'm a big advocate for people seeing therapists. I wish more people did. And I wish, and it's a very serious thing, mental health. It really is.
Well, we're very proud of you to be on the show today and to be able to talk about it.
My pleasure.
Brave.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Viewers, we are talking about the mental health, funeral home, also comedian. But I'm going to bring some gentlemen. I'm going to talk about little bit Eastern Europe. I'm going to explain the viewers. Our United States, Brussels, London, they're making drama. Russian troop already inside of Ukraine. We put the embargo. Embargo is never work. We put embargo is North Korea. After North Korea divided from South Korea, 1951, and we put the embargo from them, North Korea, but nothing is work. They making nuke every week. Where is the money come from? Of course they have a business. Money is coming from somewhere. Our politician, our White House, Brussels, London, they making just politics with the public eyes. Viewers, Russia is not going to be affected any embargo. They're going to do what they have to do. We put embargo Iran. Few weeks ago, they already make the nuke. Nothing's happened the embargo. We put embargo so many countries, is nothing work. Our Wall Street just for show. Our politician just for show. They do not work for democracy. Democracy work for their own way, own country, own people, own administration. And we are feeling America. We make democracy whole of the world. We make democracy Soviet Union is wrong. We do not make anything. We destroy our people, our economy, our soil, killing our soldier, killing our brother and sisters just for politics. How many children died on the war? Our politician. How many children? Few. But general, lower class and middle class, their children die every single week. So please stop this drama. Do something for Ukrainian people and Eastern European people. You guys thinking you're gonna make billions of dollars from Iraq, Afghanistan. You're gonna bring the gas and oil, so many things, mineral, but it's zero. We are losing $8 trillion. George W. Bush, he is the worst president we have since American independence. Guys, you guys have any views? Anything to say?
W sucks.
Mr. Soil, you have anything to say regarding the politics? No? Yes, no.
About again, I'm not the greatest when it comes to Ukrainian politics. I went to Ukraine in 2007, and and I spent some time over there. And I did a little touring there in a city called Uman, and I met some locals there, and to think that they're that they can be a victim of all this is really painful. And another thing that in today's era, we also live in a time where we're different, where each country seems to have their media outlets that paint the picture, one way or another. Like I read briefly something from Russia today, and they blamed an attack that happened on Ukraine while Ukraine and a Ukrainian news site and a German news site blamed a certain attack on said that Russia did it. So it's like I would have so it's like who even knows at this point who's telling the truth. Now Russia doesn't seem to really based on what the little knowledge I have, Russia doesn't seem to really care so much about democratic countries. We know from what they did in Georgia in 2008 when they bombed them. And they don't seem to have much love for Ukraine and their independence after what they did to Crimea in 2014. And so, but on the one hand, it's what's even more painful is to think that I don't really see I don't know what the solution is, because because let's say if we were to go at war with Russia, it would be a painful decision, because the world could look at us and say, hey, you went to Iraq, and and we know that's a useless war that turned out to be a war we should not have been in. Almost everyone agrees with that at this point. And there are also these covert wars that we fight all over the world that God knows if we should or shouldn't be doing it. Probably not. And so who knows? The world could see it as, hey, America, if we join in the fight, I'm really not a fan of Russia, and I wish they would leave Ukraine alone for the most part, but unfortunately I just don't know what our solution is, because I do know that if we try to go in and fight them, the world could look at us and say, hey, you guys fought Iraq, you guys fought this war, now you want to fight Russia, so how do we know you're not the aggressors? I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying that that's what they might think, and I don't know if it's to our benefit to do that. That's what
Okay, guys,
Well
please
said.
please, viewers and our guest, stay with us. We are going to short break.
Yes.
Probably we have a technical issue. Our
Millennium
technician,
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
viewers, we are back again in today's America and Millennium News 24/7. We're going to go back to politics. Few weeks ago, every single day, our president talking about he going to show the world how tough is America, and embargo going to be work. He going to destroy Russian economy. But today, we don't hear for anything from White House. They don't say anything regarding embargo either. So, what kind of administration we have? We have a last administration, but Donald Trump eyes, we don't see any kind of attack Ukraine last 4 years. He just told, is my eyes, Russia is not going to be attack any country. But right now, they attack. If it's Donald Trump right now is president, probably is not going to be happen. Ukraine is not going to be attacked. I'm not fan of him, whatever he did, January 6. But America have to be think again. We call democracy. We call our powerhouse. We do not think some other powerhouse better than us. We always support China. And where is the China now? They are number one economy in the world. And we are begging the loan from them. And Russia too. Russia is economy, we are thinking like their economy like California. But not. They are economy also better than America. Their people surviving better than American people. Our politician and president and our voter have to rethinking what we can do for our American people. Democracy, also economy, job, overall everything. We have to make our structural, human structural business rethinking everything. Otherwise, we destroy ourselves. We destroy our economy. We destroy our political administration. Mr. Todd, floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Noor. Thank you, Noor. It's lovely to have Sal here on the show today.
Thank you.
Really a blessing. A lot of people want me to run for president. You know,
Well, you would probably do a lot better than what we have now, or what we've had since the 80s or before.
Thank you.
That's true.
Thank
You
you.
know?
Mental health is a big thing, and look, if I'm going to be running things, I'd say mental health is the first thing that we need to take care of in our own home, in our
Yeah.
own backyard.
Mhm.
And ending the stigma about mental health and marijuana and psychedelics to treat mental health is what this guy's a proponent of. This is what we're doing. So if you want to hop on board, that's what we're going to be doing. Okay?
Yeah.
You want to elect me? That's what we're doing. Mental health and the legalization of psychedelics, decriminalization, expunging of records, and enough of the racism. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can add something to that,
Sure, go ahead.
I want you to.
Yeah, even though I personally, I agree that for medical use, absolutely, marijuana, psychedelics, really any drugs that can be used for medical use, even hard drugs like ketamine, which have proven to be good at some points for medical use,
Right.
should
And
be
but not
legalized.
private use. In
Yeah.
a clinic, hopefully.
Yeah, in a clinic, right? So, and I still firmly believe, as somebody who's I'm sober, I'm going on 16 and a half years sober from alcohol and drugs. And I wasn't much of I didn't do much illegal drugs, but I did Xanax back in the day. And
Yeah.
that's basically like an illegal drug. So,
Right.
and it's like, it's I definitely think that while I still think that illegal drugs drugs from the streets should not be used, I firmly believe that drugs that that were made and FDA approved and obviously watched over by the FDA and all that should be decriminalized and should be used and treated for medical situations, psychedelics, everything, even hard stuff. I'm definitely with you on that. And another thing with mental health is that and it does intertwine a lot with the politics because a lot of the politics is leading to bad mental health, and a lot of who knows.
Big Pharma, I just sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say, there's a lot of lobbying, and people who don't know what lobbying is basically people with a lot of money paying to have I'm not going to say their elections, but everything taken care of for them in the way that they want it to go, in their personal interests.
Sorry,
and that doesn't usually represent the interest of the people.
Sorry to interfere.
Sure.
All lobbyists from pharmaceutical company, pharmaceutical industry. If
Criminals.
exactly
Criminals, yeah.
They are the number one criminal. They are killing our people. Go ahead.
Well, I don't have many nice things to say about the lobbyists and the drug companies, especially all the prices they charge for everything. And it's a problem. It's a crime. There should be some kind of I want to say there should be some kind of laws about it, but unfortunately, we've seen the hard way that that laws are very easy to be skirted. So who knows? Just like making drugs illegal will make generally creates a black market and makes people get it illegally. Who knows if you make the pharmaceutical companies follow laws? Who knows what they're going to do illegally? To skirt the laws, or maybe even legally, because they have money to make things legal. It should be legal,
Right.
So, but they
These
definitely
are people with morals that don't really, they don't have morals, and what they're doing is that they're maybe very smart. Maybe they're Ivy League, maybe they're Wall Street, whatever it is that they think they're smarter than you.
Right.
They think they're smarter than you and you and you and you. They think they're smarter than all of you. And that's the 1%. And they're the ones. So when you have the drug czars, these young schmucks off of Wall Street that come in and they say, that diabetic medicine, whatever it was, let's bump it up to 700% more than it's supposed to be, because they are a-holes, criminals, butt cracks, and not worthy of our time. So we need to, and they're so powerful. They're so untouchable, that 1%, right?
Yeah.
We need to proverbially kick them in the scrotum. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder if finding alternative ways to, sometimes I wonder if finding alternative ways to treat, mental health issues can help with that. But then again, it's also a tough one. But in general, mental health
for the public, for the regular people, for the average Joe.
Yeah.
It's a losing battle, and they have no say. Doctors aren't listening. That's a 7-year degree. Guess what? They weren't informed. So in those 7 years, they didn't learn jack squat. Okay? I'm just going to say that, all right? It's an expensive degree. It's a buy-in system. You got the money. You're already upper class. You got the money. You can pay the exorbitant amount for the college, right? You could be in debt, or maybe you won't be in debt because you're still 1%, and that's just pocket change, right?
Yeah, that's what a lot of them are, but mental health in general. But all in all, mental health. Another thing I think is the big problem with mental health in general is that a lot of people think that if you tell 100 different people ask 100 different people is mental health a problem, they'll all say yes, but the problem is they all think it's a problem with everybody else. Nobody thinks it's a problem with me, as an us, like
The individual.
ourselves as individuals. And and I think if more people learn to realize that our mental health is it's
within
us, not just everybody else. It's within us. And another way, then people would seek help more, and we also hopefully the stigma would go away. Another way I do think how this connects to politics is that when I go to these political rallies, I don't usually go anymore to that stuff because I'm an independent, so I don't really care for either side of the political aisle at this point. But when I see people yelling and screaming at each other and doing the most useless things, to try to make way with their political points, like yelling and screaming at each other like idiots and whatnot,
just to make their point.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of times, a lot of these people are acting out their own mental health problems, on their own untreated mental health problems, and they're using politics as a ploy to just,
January 6th, case in point.
Yeah, whether it's January 6th or any other, like the riots or any other stuff that that's going on, or any of these crazy rallies or other, right or left.
Insanity, lunacy.
Yeah,
the people are going wild.
Very wild.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Safe
No.
and healthy way.
Not in a safe and healthy way. They're not telling jokes at a comedy club and making people laugh, or
they're not doing podcasts. They're not getting on TV.
Yeah.
They're not be on Millennium TV.
They're not dancing at a hip hop club or jumping up and down and using just yelling and screaming at people
hurting people, murder, racism, blasphemy, everything you can imagine.
Yeah. Everything bad, basically.
All good stuff. All thumbs down stuff.
Yeah. It's all. I really think it all connects to mental health at the end of the day.
It does.
Yeah.
Guys,
Todd,
Todd, I'm gonna add something. Todd, I'm gonna add something.
Sure.
Listen. In America, every single day, our brothers and sisters, so many people dying, gun shooting, illegal gun. Also, police authority also, by mistake, save their life, killing innocent people too. After, when you gonna go court or somewhere, you're gonna ask somebody, oh, he have a mental health issue. So when someone killed someone, that time our politician and our community leader, oh, this guy have a mental health issue. If he have a mental health issue, why you guys not taking care of him? Why you guys on the community board? Why you guys on the mayor or council? So I'm not going to White House or what, but we're gonna start from on the field. On the field, if we don't work, probably mental health issue never gonna be done. Go ahead, Todd.
Oh, you want me to say?
Yeah.
So when people kill themselves, when they commit suicide, I know that's a triggering word. They say, commit to that. But anyway, that's what they make a conscious decision. They don't want to live anymore, right? Who failed in that? Was it them who failed, or was it us, the community? I think it's the community who failed. Thank you.
Yeah, my thoughts on it are somewhat the same and sometimes different. I do think it's a combination of the community and ourselves. I mean, when I was younger and I came down with
that's broken.
What's that?
It's also the faulty system that hurts and kills everyone.
It is, but I do feel there is some level. You might not agree with this, but I do feel there is some level of personal stuff when it comes to this. Because when I was a kid, I'm not sure everyone can do this, but when I was a kid and I felt I had chronic depression and I had stuff that wasn't going right, I said to my parents, take me to a psychologist, take me to a psychiatrist, and I said, and people were asking me, well, aren't you worried what people are going to think? And I'm like, no, I'm not worried what people are going to think. If I had a foot problem, I go to a foot doctor. Am I going to worry? Am I going to have a stigma with that? Am I going to worry what people think if I have to go to a foot doctor? If I have an arm problem, I go to an arm doctor. Do I worry about that? So, and while the stigma is bad, I do think people need to build up the courage to look at the stigma in the face and say, heck with you, because because if I need help, I'm going to get help. And I do think people could have a little more power to encourage to do it, in my humble opinion, than a lot of us give them, than some other people feel. And I think we need to bring that courage out from people.
Yeah, it's a very good thing for people to get therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a must. Some people would debate whether it was effective with me or not because I have my crazy personality, as a comedian and a music artist. But but in all due seriousness, it's worked a lot with me.
Seems like to me.
Thank you. On tour, and people will get to see my real psychosis. Like the crazy haircuts I sometimes get, but but in all seriousness. Yeah, Purim is like the Jewish Halloween. Like a lot of people. I don't know why a lot of Orthodox people get really offended when I say it's the Jewish Halloween. Like I don't think they should.
Excuse us.
It's a holiday. People have a good time. They want to get drunk. They want to drink a little bit. And I don't drink anymore.
Listen.
That's right.
Mr. Todd and Sol, we have to go.
That's right.
We have to go short break. Viewers, we're gonna go short break. And we're going to come back. We're going to talk about our mental health issue through politics. Please stay with us.
Absolutely.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Back again, Today's America and Millennium News 24/7. We're going to talk about right now our politics with mental health in America. Every family, we have an issue, mental health issue. Why? We have so many problems. Our family problem, health issue, job issue, and school issue, education issue, so many things, gun issue. This all coming through mental health. If my brain is not working and my body is not working, our family, our community, and our city have to be helped. But our politicians, when they run the politics for issue and for the higher job, they talking so many things, but they don't do anything. End of the day, we are limbo. So what we have to do, our politicians, what they have to do with our community, mental health issue. Mr. Soil, do you have any idea?
Well, I'm not really sure that there's much the government can do. There have been people who floated ideas of giving tax breaks to people who can prove that seen, that they see therapists very regularly. I guess we can try that method and see if it works. But I think it's definitely something that needs to be encouraged by us as a people to do from the bottom up as individuals. I don't know if there's much the government can do to force it, but I think we as individuals need to speak up and tell people, that it's okay to seek mental health, help, and it's okay to speak about whatever issues you have, and it's okay to see a therapist. They even have, therapists that take Medicaid. There's even some programs to help people see therapists for free or low cost. And I think we as a society need to take the lead and do what it takes to convince the world that we all, us individuals, need psychological help, and mental help, and that it's okay to do it. Because if we don't do that, then I don't think anything the government does do would have much of an effect. We have to put it in people's minds that it's okay to get help for our mental issues, and I think if we're able to do that, and we're able to convince people that it's not just everybody else that has mental problems, but it's us and it's we all who need to get help, I think it would start to help. It would start to do somewhat good. It wouldn't fix the problems overnight or even within a year or two or more, but it would start to move the ball in the right direction, I would say.
Very good.
Wave.
Listen.
Yeah.
If every community, we have community board member in America and council, borough president, mayor. If we do not work with grassroots, we have to build our community first. Every community, every culture, every society in America is colorful people. Most colorful people, hardworking, and their issue is for job, money, so many things attack their brain. Is coming to mental health. And so many soldiers coming from the overseas, they get PTSD and mental health. Why our government not doing anything from the grassroots? What is the issue? Mr. Todd and Mr. Soil?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I would say it's about, because for them it's profits over people, which is completely backwards, because if you look at countries like Germany and places like that, it's more people-oriented. It's people over profits. And when you start to say people, they say social, and then they say communist. So, no, not so fast. It's just being for the people. And when you start to be for the people, you're going to make a better place. And when you're not just thinking about profits and lining your own pockets, the world will be a better place.
Very good.
To be altruistic.
Yeah.
That's true.
I very much agree with what Todd said. A lot of times when it comes to the government and wars and anything political, they focus more on how much money they're making and what's in it for them, and they don't really focus in
personal costs.
Yeah,
I'll be other people. I'll be others.
Guys,
Yeah.
our in America, two-party system, Republican
Yeah.
and Democrat. We are public. We are public. We are blaming one side to other side. Democrat, Republican. Why they are not together to help our grassroots, our community, our family? Why we have to suffer this? I do not see this kind of mental health issue. Third world country, poor country, believe me or not, I've been around so many countries in the world. I never saw this kind of mental health issue. Why is our country? What is the issue? What is the problem? Why we do not find out? Both.
Well, I think that the two-party system is a major problem to begin with. I mean, every person who belongs to every politician who belongs to a particular party thinks that he has to he has to vote either right wing or left wing, depending on the party that he's in, at least 99% of the way, or his constituents or his fellow parties are not going to support him anymore. And it's like there's very little real independent thinking anymore. I'm an independent thinker. I have about 50%, about 45 to 50% of my views are Republican, 50% of my views are Democrat, liberal, conservative. Sometimes I think they're both wrong, and there's very little of that when it comes to politicians. And it seems like the parties are just focused more on my party and my people and my constituents, and my donors who vote for me, not as about what's going to actually help people.
Sorry not to kick it back to the orange moron, but Trump, really messed things up in a big way because he divided not just the country. Jewish people understand this the best, I think, is that there's Nazism being risen in Eastern Europe and other places in Europe, and the Nazism was getting more and more and more prevalent. So much that there was even AfD. Right wing, which is basically another kind of Nazi party in Germany, and that was gaining a lot of momentum too. There were too many people who were so angry about the immigrant situation that they became Nazis themselves. So the right wing party in Europe is really a problem, and these are the ones that you'll see out there harming people, taking to the streets, vandalizing. Whether it's the fringes of the left or the fringes of the right, they're all wrong. How can they all be wrong? Because it's a symptom of a broken society. And when you look at America and how sick it is mentally, that's why you have a Trump. That's why Trump got into power. That's why you have people like that. Now, we're lucky with Biden, right? But nobody's happy with Biden, right? But he's better than the orange guy. Thank you. The old man is better than the orange guy.
I want to add to, if I can add something in regards to extremists. Well, while I personally don't, have a particular opinion at this point about presidents or particular candidates, because I'm like, to me those are a whole different ballgame altogether. But I know I happen to be friendly with a person who just a few years ago left a very extremist movement. His name is Jeff Scoop. He runs a group called Beyond Barriers. He is a former Nazi, and he now runs a group where he tries to help get people away from Nazism and away from extremist groups, both on the left and on the right. And one of the things he stresses a lot is that one of the big things that most people who join these extremist movements, whether it's far left or far right, are people who have serious mental issues, and they just use and it just manifests itself with political stuff, and it's just
get out their toxins.
Their toxins, their anger, their hate, and they're just finding some sort of scapegoat, whether it's the other side or the other color or whatever. Yeah.
I'm gonna add something. You guys bring the ex-president Donald Trump. He make not only divided America, whole world, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, South America. You can see Brazil, right-wing president, Mexico, right-wing, and also,
they started to worship the guy. They thought he was an icon.
Or also Eastern Europe, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Poland, also India, is his supporter. He make whole of the world divided. He is the divider. That's all, What are we going to do? We have to have a peace, love, honesty, truth person in a White House. And they can, whatever they're doing, they can say, this is the thing happening. They have to say in the public. But we do not have those kind of president in our White House, When they go White House, they forget whatever they say before. They forget everything. They're getting powerhouse. They try to destroy, fight for everything around the world. This is the problem. So anyway, Todd and Soil, you guys talk about mental health and medical marijuana. Medical
Right.
marijuana is best things for the medicine, and our general medicine destroy our young children. So many drug issue, so many fentanyl issue. Why politicians not see? They are children also, they are brother and sister also. But lobbyists make them, happy.
Right. You answered your own question right there. So it's
Yeah,
money. They're getting paid.
they make them happy. Lobbyists make them happy. That's why if their own children die, they don't care. Reason? They have a money and they have a power. Go ahead. If you guys have any voice
I have
regarding
something to say to
this.
that. I have something to say to that. In rich, powerful families, if there's somebody that has a mental health issue, they're usually considered to be the scapegoat or the black sheep or whatever it is, right? Because they have mental health issues. So, that's not good for business and that's not good for publicity. So what do? They fill them full of pharmaceutical drugs, pharmacopoeia even. When it's too many meds. Kids shouldn't be on 5 different pills just to work a job that's going to kill them anyway. So, the point is, you want to be healthy within yourself. And medical marijuana is now something that is very, very real. I'll even tell you that today in my personal life, I'm going to see a therapist. But you know what? Not just any therapist. It's somebody that understands and respects cannabis and understands that it is plant medicine. It's very good for certain people. I got into it in my late 30s. I'm not saying it's for kids. It's not for kids. Let your brain grow. Let your brain develop. Be straight edge. Don't drink alcohol. The punk rockers were into straight edge. You know what? I was too for a long time. Straight edge is not a bad thing. But if you do decide to expand your mind when you get older and your mind is fully solidified, you can do such a thing. Marijuana is very good. So that's one of the things that we can do in our lives is if you're home and you're working at home, marijuana can be very beneficial if it's the right strain and things like that. It helps me, but I'm not saying that's the right thing for everybody. It works with me because if I don't, I'm sometimes not a very nice individual. And, I want to be nice to people. I want to be kind. I want to be loving, but I also want to be civil. I want to be good. So, and I want to present well. So here we are today, medical marijuana in conjunction with therapy, psychedelics in conjunction with therapy. That's what's coming down the pike. Remember, in the Reagan years, we saw fascism coming down the pike, right? That's what Zappa said, and he was right.
Thank
and
you.
Now we've got Goldfinger. Thank you.
Todd, thank you very much. Todd, you are talking about the grassroots. Thank you very much to coming
Thank you.
our show. Our
you.
show is end for today, Mr. Soil. Thank you for come over and
Now, do you mind I share one quick? Do you mind I share one quick thought about the government and why and their whole thing on medical marijuana?
Short one.
Sure. So now the government in general, as I have a number of medical conditions that are very rare conditions. I'm not going to go into the details because it's long, so I'll keep it short. But as a person who's dealt with many very rare medical conditions, well, not many, but a few of them, I know from experience that that the government is very far behind when it comes to anything that they don't understand when it comes to anything medical. I was not surprised, which in my opinion includes medical marijuana and just a whole host of things that they just don't understand and are so behind the 8 ball on. Right. I was not surprised. I'm one of the only people I know that was not surprised at all about how the government got caught with their pants down when it came to, excuse my terminology.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Listen,
yes.
We are end. Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah. Come over our show. We're going to be bring you guys next time on future.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Viewers,
pleasure being on your show. I'm glad to come back on anytime.
Stop.
I love you.
God bless. Thank you very much for having me.
Viewers,
take care.
Viewers,
bye-bye.
Viewers, our time is end for today. Please watch Millennium TV 24 and Millennium News 24 and Today's America. We are in all iOS and Android device, also all smart TVs, also all Fire Stick, Roku, Amazon, and Apple TV. We are in all social network, Millennium News 24/7, and our YouTube address is news channel M24. Our website millenniumnews24.com. Viewers, whatever you are, please stay, peace, love, and happiness. Goodbye and take care for today.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Guys, when I say stop, you cannot talk. Everything is coming on the broadcast. Okay? Next time, don't do that. Okay. Thank you, Todd. Thank you very much. Probably, listen. Probably, my newsroom